natural grace that it would have shone through a burlap sack. Jada looked somewhat chastened, something only the oldest member of our spellbook club and informal coven could effect. Not that Mimsy was trying to put anyone in their place, but she would have been our high priestess if our group had been so formal as to have one. Jada respected her as much as any of us did. "I should have read it first," I said, before bringing it to everyone. "It's just that I was curious how Brunhilda's experience as a new witch compared with mine." Bianca tossed her long black braid over her shoulder and grinned. "So, what do you think?" I half smiled. She seems like more of a newbie than I was last year. I feel like I could tell her a few things. I wonder why she decided to write a book when she's still such a neophyte. I paused, then, "There's something else that bothers me." "What's that?" Cookie asked, tipping her head. The gesture reminded me of a playful colt, as did her slim physique, which was shown to advantage in a green miniskirt and striped crop top. In the 2 days since I'd last seen her, she'd changed the blue streaks in her dark hair to deep magenta. "Well, her attitude," I said, "as if spell work is supposed to be a bunch of pat formulas, simple recipes a witch follows without any—" I trailed off. After all, who was I to criticize? I called my own grimoire, where I kept track of spells and techniques, my recipe book. "Without any intention," Lucy finished for me. "It's disturbingly lacking in everything she says. She forgets that spells are tools by which we send intentions into the universe, not to say that physical things like water and salt and herbs and stones. Flowers," Mimsy broke in with an enthusiastic nod, "and colors, 2 areas of magic in which she happened to have special skills." "Yes," Lucy continued, "all those things have power of their own to be tapped and shaped, but without intention, that power is chaotic and ineffective." Cookie leaned forward and put one hand on the book that sat between us and her other on the arm of the sofa. It was a simple gesture, but it garnered all our attention. "Perhaps this Rowana didn't forget. Perhaps she never knew." "But," I began, "she has a mentor." "Not a very good one," Jada said. Mimsy turned over her copy of Spells for Everyone and perused the back. Shaking her head, she opened the front flap and scanned the copy. She looked up at the group. "Her mentor goes by the name Astroy." We exchanged glances. Jada asked, "Astroy what?" "Just Astroy." Mimsy leafed through the pages. "There's a picture of them together at the end of the text. He looks much older." "Oh?" Bianca flipped her book open too. "Oh, you're not kidding. She barely looks 20, if that. Do you think they're—" "It's not impossible." Mimsy sounded resigned. "If not, they soon will be," Cookie said with conviction. "He is a sham, a fake guru, and she's an innocent." I stared at her, surprised at her fervor. She met my eyes and said a bit defensively, "I know that look. The mentor is too self-satisfied. Unfortunately, that expression on the author's face, this Rowana girl, is devotion, blind devotion. It's easy to fool the young, and I suspect this one has either been fooled for a very long time or is a very young soul to begin with." She frowned. "Their union will not end well." Silence settled over the 6 of us, broken only by Mungo's soft grunt as he rolled over onto his back. At 25, Cookie was 4 years younger than my 29, and I found it intriguing to hear her make such a proclamation about someone she'd never met. Still, I couldn't disagree with her. "Well," Lucy said with forced cheer, "did anyone find a spell or two in here they would like to discuss?" I sprang to my feet. "Who needs a refill? More coffee, or I can brew tea?" Jada directed a pleading look up at me. "I don't suppose there's any wine?" I laughed. "What kind of joint do you think we run here? Of course there is, and mint julep blondies were the special today. I'll grab what's left." Faces brightened at that. "Winos!" Heckle squawked. "Oh, hush," Mimsy absently said to her familiar. "This is why you aren't invited to our meetings very often." "Lushy witches," he announced, ignoring her admonition. She turned and gave him a firm look. He quieted immediately.